Yeah, hi, I'm Kevin Beatty, and I teach campaign metrics and assessment. Now, a lot of people think maybe that campaign metrics and assessment isn't the sexiest, subject matter, but it's probably one of the most practical, and here's why. It doesn't matter if you're in charge of a social media campaign or email campaign or, whatever your role is within a marketing team. You need to have a good understanding of how you're going to measure something and how you're going to report it. Because one of the things I try to teach the students and bring to the environment is the practicality of, reporting on what you're doing, how you're spending the company's funds. And there's nothing worse than being in a meeting and have somebody from accounting poking at you or somebody from sales poking at you saying, well, what was the result? Why did we spend this money? Why did we do this? Why did we do that? And so in the course, you really have a understanding of, the various elements, the various activities that you're going to be doing in your marketing role, and really, what do you want to do? How do you want to measure it? How do you want to adjust it? Because things don't always work as planned, and so understanding that allows you to make adjustments and things like that. And I do that from my background of working at very large Fortune 100 companies, and now being a partner in a small business where you don't have a lot of resources, but you're still you want to be prudent with the funds. So I think it's a great course. We have a lot of fun. And as much as students have a little apprehension at first, the overall feedback is, wow, this has been a really good course. I can really use it. I can use it in what I'm doing right now. And that's very rewarding. I really, from the start of going into graduate school and having that experience and then working with other, folks in marketing, having people on my team, wanting people to grow and learn, I guess I've always strived to educate and help others grow. And it seemed like a natural extension of, that desire to be able to teach and bring my experience over the last 20 plus years in marketing in a variety of different environments to the program. So when I was asked to teach, I thought, wow, what a great opportunity. And it's been, I think, more rewarding for me in the sense that it gives me exposure to a lot of different students, a lot of different backgrounds. We have even some international students that have come along. A lot of times people are all over, particularly from the military standpoint where they're deployed. And so there's a lot of different perspectives and backgrounds. And that really enhances, I think, what we're doing with the campaign metrics and assessment, because a lot of times I encourage students to, they can use their actual environments and or campaigns they might be working on rather than, focus on what we have for the assignment. I think it's important to give that flexibility to them because then it makes the work even more practical. Yeah, I think a lot of times the way I kind of create the engagement is really to talk a little bit and put the lesson in context. So, for example, if we're talking about doing some competitive background research that we're going to look at, I try to bring my real world experience that I've had working both in very large companies that are very bureaucratic, where you might have different conflicts, different agendas, and try and put that in perspective for them, especially folks that haven't had the opportunity to be in a number of different, environments. So, for example, I really try to get the students to focus on explaining the assignment as if they were explaining it to a CMO, or if they were in front of a board, or something to give them that context. Because a lot of times when you're out, asking for budget dollars, saying you want to do a particular campaign, you've got various interests from accounting to operations that don't understand marketing, and they may be peppering you with questions about, what is it that, how are we going to get a return on investment? And, part of what a marketer's job is to educate others as to, okay, sometimes there's an actual dollar investment, sometimes there's a influencing investment, sometimes there's an awareness investment. And so really putting all these forms of campaign measurement into context and bringing these examples to them. I know I had one student that wanted to use some of what they were actually doing as part of the assignment, and then share that with their team. So that's why I think this particular course has, a lot of relevance that you're always going to use versus, you might take a social media course, but be in an environment where you're not responsible for social media. Any marketer that's doing any work with a campaign is gonna, be able to use the insights and the lessons in what they're doing. What did I want to be when I was younger? Well, anything from, I wanted to be a rock star because I played in a couple bands. And I think, if anyone's ever listened to the story of Dave Grohl and how he, would talk about going to concerts and them needing a drummer or something, and you'd raise your hand and go up and do it. That was like, oh, maybe I want to do that. And it came to actually a point in my life where the band had broken up and I needed a change. And it was either pack up my drums and move to LA and see what it's like. But I opted to go into the service and give that a shot. And I'm glad I did. But, it's like one of those things I always wonder about. Yeah, what would that have been like? Just to get into the music and entertainment business, whether or not I was actually playing, but sound engineer, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I often thought of.